The Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building meeting is now called to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Ashley. What happened? Am I not on?
I was checking if it was. Put it in your ring, but that's probably a new thing.
Don't be playing with it.
Or it'll be off.
We don't have a roll call on here, do we?
Yes, we did.
Where?
Right at the top.
Right under pledge.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay, Daddy.
We're just trying to follow orders this time.
I've been looking at these things for many years now.
Mr. Wilkening,
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Sharp,
Here.
Ms. Scheiden,
Here.
Mr. Deutmeyer,
Present.
Ms. Murr. Present. Chief Wilkening is absent. Mr. Gatto,
Here.
Ms. Abernathy present.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. The minutes of the September 15th, 2021 public meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Denny, second by Colleen. Roll call, Ashley.
Ms. Scheiden,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening,
Yes.
Mr. Sharp,
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Action item, 7512 West 128th Lane, the Kelly property, and I think we have an update from Jill, if you could, Jill. And there's something in our packet here also.
On September 28th, we posted the order for demolition in your binders under section 1 is communication from a tax sale purchaser, Simon Rostevsky. The date of the redemption period has passed. It is scheduled for the court hearing on December 9th.
Okay.
He is stating his intent in here is to rehab the house, but until he goes through court,
He can't get in right now, yeah.
he can't do anything. I talked to Ryan about this earlier. It's recommended to have him come back after that court date to provide us an update, one that court went through, correct?
Yes, that would be my suggestion. As I told Jill, I have a little bit of experience with this particular guy on a separate civil matter, or at least a family member of his that he's closely related to.
Okay.
I believe he purchases quite a few properties, so I would sort of suggest keeping a little bit tighter leash on this.
Keeping it moving if we
to
can.
make sure that it's moving along and we get whatever changes need to happen.
Okay, he's asking till April 9th.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that. So
Okay.
the tax sale procedure is admittedly a little bit complex. So he filed his petition for issuance of tax deed. That is set for hearing on December 9th. From what Jill told me, the Kellys, is that who it is, have communicated with you that they basically want to wash their hands of it. So it doesn't appear that there's going to be significant issues there.
Okay.
You know, unless somebody appeared and offered some sort of defense to the issuance of tax deed, the court's going to grant it on that day. They then have...
it's going to happen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They would then have, I think, the auditor's office keeps changing it, but I think it's 150 days from the date the order's entered to take it to the auditor's office, then to record it and get the property put in your name. So I would suggest putting it out into... I mean, Jill said our December meeting is like 3 days later, so that's not enough time.
Yeah.
But at least January to sort of keep him on track and let him know that, you know, we're going to keep watching this and he's got to present some legitimate plans. Otherwise, you know, the order's been issued, he's aware of it, and we can move forward.
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. I think that's a good idea to try and keep him moving. So maybe January, the first of January.
Send a letter out requesting his.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Do I need to notify all the others on that list since it's quite extensive?
I don't remember who's all on our list. I know the Kellys were.
We have a whole bunch of taxing entities on there.
That's all because, I mean, they're all involved in the tax sale process. So I would do that for now until we know that he's obtained title to the property. And then once we know that it's in his name, then we can cease to identify them and direct all communications to him.
Okay.
But we would like an update for him on the January meeting.
That's what I'd say.
Okay, okay. I'm not sure when the January meeting is. Is anybody here?
Anticipated January 19th.
January 19th, okay. Okay, so you're recommending a deferral till January 19th?
Yeah,
And send a
that's right.
letter to try and get him to come
I would
in?
make sure that he's got a title in January, and then we can get some idea from him as to what his plans are for the property.
Okay, good idea.
And when and if his plans are sufficient to you guys, I would suggest that if building permits and stuff are issued again, that we cut down on the time frame on those.
Yeah.
As we've sort of been doing in the past for not just tax sale purchasers, but other people that, you know, want to do some work, so we're not sitting here 9 months from now,
Yeah.
or, you know, doing what we did at Felician's for
Yeah, we've been.
9 years from now.
That's been more than 9 months.
And just so everyone knows, for the record, lot 26 that the structure is on is the only one that is part of the tax sale and the one he's acquiring. There are vacant lots on either side of this parcel, just so if you go out there and look at it, it's not.
Okay, lot 26 is, okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to defer until January 19th?
I'll make the motion to defer till January meeting.
Second.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny. Roll call, Ashley, please.
Ms. Schreiben,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening,
Yes.
Mr. Sharp,
Yes. Motion carries 3-0, January 19th. Okay, thanks, everybody. Update item, 7220 West 138th Place. Do we have?
So that property is located right up the street here.
Yeah.
In looking for a contact, I was unable to find a phone number on anyone to just reach out and find out what their intents were. I did notice last week there was a dumpster in front of the property.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you'd like, I can send a letter out to the property owner of record and ask them to be in attendance at your November meeting.
If you could do that, I
Yeah,
think.
that would be good.
Yeah. Do we need a motion for that, Ryan?
No, it's just on the update portion, so. I mean,
Okay, yeah. For November, you said, Jill?
Correct. We have a couple other items that'll be updated next
Okay.
month as well.
Okay, very good, thank you. Then we had the one from last month, the possible unsafe structure, 12912 Hilltop. Was anybody, did we get to take a look at that?
Todd and I did. We were able to deem it unsafe, just by the laws, basically.
The laws of the unsafe, it's not, doesn't fall with, okay.
Right, we did issue a letter to the property owner, requesting that he make multiple repairs. The repairs were lined out on there. And the renter, the tenant, was given a copy of that letter because it was mailed. The tenant was also given a copy of that letter so she could bring it in for her eviction hearing and hopefully have a leg to
Yeah, she
stand
was
on.
having something like.
Was that the lady that had, like, the holes or?
The holes in the ceiling
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
holes in the house.
Yeah,
Right.
But was your inspection interior and exterior?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, all the above.
The foundation and everything looks good?
Does, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very repairable house. It's just been neglected to the point where it needs to be repaired.
Damn it.
yeah, I'm sorry, Cindy,
Right.
I know.
I'm still gonna try to get him to sell it to me and tear it down.
Okay, well, maybe after Tony's letter, maybe he'll,
The problem is he's gonna hire people that really aren't qualified to do the work.
Yeah.
He's gonna hire kids and friends, and
They
it's
gotta go
really,
through the
he's gonna
town.
he'll put up plasterboard over the plasterboard that's there. So it's not gonna take away the mold that's in there.
Said there was,
It's gotta be inspected anyhow after.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
once they come and inspect it, if he puts up new plasterboard, you don't know that the old stuff's still back there. That's what I'm saying, is they're going,
It
like
needs a
when you
roof
guys
repair,
did mine,
or a
is
roof
it gonna-
replacement. It needs structural roof, the sheeting at least, because the roof has leaked enough to where the
Okay.
plaster is falling in.
yeah, okay.
It needs windows, it needs siding, soffit face. I mean, the deck is kind of falling off the back, but
Yeah.
there's a front entrance
So
too,
it's not, but it's all that, but it's not unsafe. Yeah, I got you. One of those unfortunate,
So what does the town do about it? Anything, nothing?
can we follow up on, the letter we sent? You sent a letter to him, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Paper mail.
Okay.
yeah,
Are there any code violations?
yes. What's that?
So are there any code violations?
Mr. Eberly was saying we really don't have a leg to stand on as far as making him, that's why we had to use the wording request, not require, because we really don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm getting at is, I mean, at
Yeah,
least
but
in
if the
terms
roof-
of this board, we don't have any jurisdiction over the property.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid.
The roof is leaking, and they got electrical problems too, down the road.
But-
But
Possibility.
that's not unsafe at this point,
Yeah,
is
well, I
what Brian's
understand that.
saying.
Yeah, we can't, unfortunately, we can't anticipate what's gonna happen.
Does anybody have gas and a match? You didn't hear
I don't
that.
know that I suggested.
You didn't hear that. I mean, so there's nothing that can be done to force him to put a new roof on that place, to put new windows in it. He can just say, well, too bad you asked, but I don't have to.
Unless we have something like a rental inspection in place, which we don't, which, when I talked to Todd about that, and he said there's so many houses in this town that are rentals, to start that process would be, we don't have the staff or the means, and we're not prepared to do it right now. I don't think it's a
So-
terrible idea, it's obviously a good idea, but it's,
So the renters, he's gonna rent it again. That's the thing.
Is Harley, that's her name, right?
Harley, Karen, yeah.
Has she moved out, or is she
Yeah,
out?
she's out as
Okay.
of today. She's totally gone. She got the
Okay,
last
she's
two
okay,
pieces
though,
out.
wherever she is, she's okay.
She's out in DeMott. She
Okay.
didn't wanna go there. She wanted to stay in Cedar Lake.
Yeah, that's a
where
long
she
way,
was from.
long way from Cedar Lake, yeah.
Yeah, actually Thayer, I think, is where she's at, right on the
Okay.
border there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she's gone. I'm gonna miss her. But
I'm sure you are, yeah.
that building is just,
I know. I hear you. I hear
the
you.
rodents come from that house to mine.
That's not good, you know.
right.
You know, I mean, there's openings in the roof, you saw 'em, where the birds go in and
Right.
the squirrels, and I get them in my attic from that. They chew right through my roof. I have a mansard,
Right.
and I've had the raccoons chew through my roof so that they could have their babies.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's 'cause that house is close enough to mine to where they can jump and latch on.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, yeah, and those raccoons are terrible. They're
Yeah,
terrible.
but the problem
We had
is,
one in our house once, and oh my God.
with him doing nothing to that building, it is now
it's not gonna
affecting
get-
mine.
yeah, it's
Plus
not
the
gonna
cost
get
of
better.
my
I
house.
wish there was something we could do with a huge amount of this town, but if the law
So
doesn't
there's
allow
no-
it, I
there's
mean,
no recourse?
unfortunately,
At the present time, there's not, unfortunately.
Not at this board,
Not by this,
based on what Ryan said.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hire some kids to knock out the windows
yes.
totally and...
No, you can't do that.
Once again,
This is recorded.
off the record.
It's
I
only
don't
a
think
joke.
somebody cares.
Yeah, I really don't care. I want that house gone.
I
It's
understand.
terrible.
No.
You know,
And
Cindy,
Bob, you've seen it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Cindy, if you feed the squirrels and the raccoons, they won't be up in your attic. Feed them on the ground.
She used to feed them, and then they dug up all my plants. So stop. They wanted the water from the roof.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely nothing can be done.
Not at this time, no.
Can't
Sorry.
even make him fix it. It's only needed a roof for 20 years.
Yeah. Can we follow up on his, I mean, I know it was, what,
Well, that's the other thing I was asking is if code enforcement could
The
identify
deck,
any.
if anything, I mean, the rear deck falling off, but there's another means of egress through the front door, so I don't know if we can really say that,
yeah.
no, I'm not.
Don't you
I'm
have
not-
to have
Well,
two
code
by
enforcement
law?
doesn't require there to be another entrance.
What's that now?
I said there might be the requirement to have another entrance for it to be a violation of one of the town's multitude of ordinances.
Right.
It's a fire hazard, hell.
Right.
It's all in a fire.
Right.
Yeah, well, we'll take a look at it, and we'll take a hard look at it to see if there's something we can, just to get him moving to do something.
Right.
Because like you say, Cindy, he probably, I mean, you know him.
He's the slumlord of Cedar Lake. Everybody knows him. He owns 6 properties, and every one of them are the same way.
Who is it?
Bob
Brown.
Brown.
The guy that was in here with that other guy that they were changing.
I know who he is.
Yeah, he's a slumlord, and it's terrible because he rents the property promising to fix what needs to be done. Then he never does, and the tenants have no recourse.
Right.
And he keeps collecting the money, and then when they don't pay because it's so bad like it is now, he takes them to court and evicts them.
Fix them, yeah.
So now they've got an eviction on their...
Do you think he'll get somebody else in there?
I'm certain he would. Got Harley in there, and he got the last 12 different residents in there. And
He had
it's
a
never been fixed.
He had a military guy that had to use a chair to move around.
Yeah, and
I felt sorry for him.
we had one tenant that hung himself in the closet in there.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, there's a lot of things that happen in that house, but... Okay, I appreciate you trying.
Stay away from it, okay? Halloween's coming.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't get to trick-or-treaters.
Trick or treat, yeah. You'd have it or a treat for him, huh?
I give them both. I don't know. I've asked them to sell it to me a couple of times. Our neighbor wants to buy it, but he wants to pay less for it than I will.
And he won't even do nothing?
No. He says, you want it for income property? I just looked at him and laughed.
Yeah.
And that's what he'll do. I can guarantee you by November 1st, he'll have somebody in there.
Wow.
How many square foot house is it?
Huh?
If you see someone working there, let us know. If they're not licensed, if they're not a contractor.
Can you do something if he doesn't use contractors? If he doesn't have a permit to do
They
the
don't have a
work?
permit, yeah.
There's no permit, yeah.
He ain't go buy a permit, he never has.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
I have to, I live next door.
Right.
You don't have any choice, do you?
Call in if he's doing something wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so he's gotta have a permit to do the repairs.
Yes.
Look for the orange sticker on the front of the
Yeah, it
house.
has to be posted, yeah.
Can you go by and red tag it at least, so he can't rent it?
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't think we can do it right now.
I don't know that I have the means to do
It
that.
ain't gonna
Oh,
get
come
the
on, you
building
red
fixed.
tagged my foundation when it was right.
Right. There was nobody there, I think, at the inspection. I don't remember what that was.
Yeah, that's what, Hen and Son worked there, and
Yeah.
you didn't ring the doorbell, so. But it was right. You come back the next day and greened it.
Right.
I believe, Brian,
Yeah,
you
you
had an
can.
update item?
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry, Cindy, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ryan, do you have something? I'm sorry.
The birds.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was gonna ask about them, yeah.
Oh, well, good thing I have a report from that.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
What was it, last Wednesday, I want to say. Todd, myself, Tim, and Rick went out to the property. We had arranged a meeting with Megan, which is Stanley's daughter. She's been handling most of the court communications. 2:30 we were supposed to go out there, got out there, nice dreary day like today, right before the skies opened up. No one is home, despite the fact that we had prearranged it. Todd knocked on the door, and the door just swung right open.
Opened
We did
itself?
not let ourselves in. I'm surprised some things didn't let themselves out.
Yeah.
But, just photographed the outside. We had court yesterday. Judge Parent is still, his main concern is continuing cooperation by the Byrds in relocation assistance. He has contacted Congressman Mervan to obtain some expediting of the request to determine if he's eligible for any VA benefits. The indications we've gotten through our channels with the VA communications are that he's probably not. Given a very short service time, I think it's 3 or 4 months. That seems to be the information we have, but they're trying to track it all down. And they have to get it through a clearinghouse in St. Louis related to records from Oklahoma City.
Of course.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
So Judge is working that channel. We had the VA president on the phone yesterday. Mr. Byrd executed all the necessary authorizations so the VA could speak with us. And they're doing what they can do with the VA.
Yeah.
So they have to determine if he's eligible first. Like I said, the things that we've heard are probably not.
Mm-hmm.
By the same token, we have Adult Protective Services that's been ordered to assist, albeit Matt Cooper, the director, has done a lot for an individual whom really doesn't fall under his statutory mandate.
I see.
He doesn't really have funds allocated. In fact, in my multiple communications with Matt, Adult Protective Services has like 3 employees, and they barely have enough money to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, to cover a county of what, 400,000 or 500,000 people.
Yeah, yeah.
And he keeps getting hauled into court on this one matter for this one person who doesn't even qualify for his service.
Wow.
Stanley is not incompetent. From everything we've heard, and I just received some emails before I came here, Judge wanted to engage the VASIA program, which is run out of his courtroom, to try to assist, but in order he needed a finding of incompetency for Stanley, and that appeared to be never was going to happen. I got the email today from the VASIA director that the physician's report indicated that he can take care of himself. We all knew from everything he said before, I mean, he's competent.
Yeah.
He's just physically unable, but mentally he's able to.
Yeah.
So we're stuck in a little bit of a black hole in terms of that. Judge wants to keep things moving along. So he's got the VA working, he's got Adult Protective Services working. He tried to get ASTIA going on it, but that's not going to happen. They have applied, by their own testimony at least, to a facility in Michigan City called the Canterbury House, low-income housing. That was a palatable option to Stanley if an opening occurred. By my understanding, at least the last time we heard in court, if there wasn't an opening that was sufficient to him on the ground floor because of his wheelchair need, that was immediately available. The judge asked us sort of our thoughts. I said, you know, I understand sort of the humanitarian effort that this is evolved into, albeit well beyond the scope of what we originally asked for. But at least our position, the structure is still unsafe. We still want the structure down, and frankly, the whole reason we came to court instead of doing it here is because someone's living in it.
Yes.
Right. We don't get those circumstances generally where there's someone living in it.
Absolutely.
In a house that is just terrible, terrible condition. So, you know, my position to the judge was, you know, you found it to be unsafe. We're standing by that. We still want to move forward on what we need to do once we're able to get him out. So if we have to take a little bit of time to get him out, then fine. As long as we get him to another place, we can go in and do what we need to do.
Have you looked into the Soldiers and Sailors Home in Lafayette? That is for any honorably discharged military person, doesn't matter their time of service. And it's a residential facility that goes all the way to immediate care, you know, ICU type care, all the way down to them just having their own room, and they help them with their medication, and they do the cleaning and stuff. It doesn't cost him except what he gets in Social Security, and they give him an allotment of the Social Security. He just can't own any property, but since you're condemning his property.
Well, they'll still own it though. That's
but he could sell it, or.
Well, he offered to. He sells it to the town for $300,000.
Oh, that's nice.
He said that in court last time.
Well, then he'd have to pay to live there. But no, seriously.
Anybody want to pool their money together?
I would check with the Soldiers and Sailors Home in Lafayette.
Okay. I appreciate the information.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Yeah.
I'm big on the vets, so I can tell you a lot about it.
Great.
Give you a lot of information with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they still claim that they're making all of these repairs, none of which, by my understanding, permits have been applied for.
You didn't go inside when the door.
We couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. Okay.
I got out of my work clothes for it, and Tim and Todd laughed at the clothes I was wearing, but they're clothes that I'm not gonna worry about getting any critters on.
Yeah.
So, you know, my position as a judge was we still want to move forward with this. You know, if we have to take a bit of time to get them out, then so be it. But we're not going back out there unless they call us up and say, we've made all these repairs and we need to take a look at it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't even think they have contractors. It's just some friend of a friend who's, you know, put up some new
with a hammer
drywall
and a nail
ceiling or something, which doesn't fix the actual hole in the roof.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were out there, obviously got exterior pictures. It's terrible. It has a roof. I mean, you want to talk about, at a minimum, it's a nuisance if it's not unsafe. Kim almost fell through one of the boards in the deck. It was pretty loose and you could sort of step right through it, so. The condition hasn't changed, obviously, if you drive by it, you know what it looks like. They put a bunch of trash out, but that still doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
So, we've got it reset for early November. We'll be back in front of Judge Parents.
Maybe, the congressman will have some kind of...
I mean, Judge Parents got his thumb on the pulse of it pretty good. You know, unfortunately, just from everything that I've heard and the communications we've had with all these various agencies, it appears that sort of the collision course we're on here is we're gonna eventually get to a point where the VA's got no benefit, Adult Protective Services can't help them, VASIA can't help them, and then it's a choice of him choosing to go somewhere else or a judge making him go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the judge has made it fairly clear that he'll do that if he has to.
Yeah, but that's kind of last resort also, right?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
the judge has, as he referred to it, was we're kind of doing God's work here, so we're not trying to totally manhandle them, but that's why I reminded him at the end was, the goal here is we gotta get rid of it.
We gotta get rid of it, yeah. Okay.
So, that's the hope. Hopefully in November I have something else to report, but the only other unfortunate thing is, at least from my perspective, is every time we're in there, there appears to be something new that happens, some new excuse as to why things didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like Megan's inability to meet us was because of a flat tire, and she couldn't apply for the Canterbury house because she had to wait until she got some money, and then it's a mess.
So is she actually trying to help her dad, or do we know, or she's trying to do something?
Yeah, I think she is.
Is he living there? Was he?
My understanding is he's still there. He was at the hospital earlier this week.
Okay.
But my understanding is he's there, and I believe she's there.
Oh, wow.
They have relatives that live here in town, in which Megan actually has a child, 16, 17 years old, that's living with those relatives in a home with like 6 or 7 other people. She's married, but
They live in the yellow house?
no idea where her husband is located. It's an odd...
It sounds real odd. Yeah. And we don't know where, or we probably do know where his wife is, right? Or...
She's she's not in a facility, actually. I think she's in that other house getting cared for by her sister.
Oh, for crying out loud. Okay.
I think she was in a facility for a while.
Yeah.
But Adult Protective Services got called out there, I think when we were there about 3 years ago to deal with Jane, the mom. But Stanley has always sort of been, I mean, but for his physical limitations, he's fine. And that's the exact reason why Adult Protective Services doesn't have any services for him, because he doesn't have any mental capacity issues, he's just got physical.
Physical, yeah.
So it's a hot mess.
Yes, that's a good description, hot mess. Okay, well, keep us updated, Ryan. Thank you.
It's another day in the saga.
Yeah.
It's another day in paradise.
Yeah, another day in
Welcome to my world.
paradise. Okay, well, I think that completes everything. Do we have any public comment? Public comment?
I'll make a comment before we...
Okay.
The house on Theodore. Remember last, meeting, I said that dumpster was full, the house was down, but the yard's a mess. The dumpster's still sitting there full. It's been better than a month.
Their permit, actually, I checked that with the building department this afternoon before Tammy left. It just expired yesterday. So we had that as an update item for your November meeting, just because of the timing. So I will, make sure we check on that. I know a notice was issued to them at the beginning of the month that their permit was coming up and expiring.
Okay, Dan. If there's another one, right, hold that. That's okay.
Jill, do we know the status on any of those orders that were issued, or any of those properties down, or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. No
Use
more
your
public
gavel.
comment? The meeting's adjourned. Thank you.